Welcome back. It's your best friends. It's Austin
And it's Sean.
And it's Logan.
Hey.
our third guest, Logan
That's
Damery.
right.
Yeah, 3 is my lucky number.
Is it?
Well,
Yeah.
I feel like it's a lot of people's lucky number, but
I don't
you're
know.
very special.
So
So
I was the third born child.
I'm not going to take it away
Way
from
to
you.
dunk on him.
Yeah.
I was the fifth born child.
Nice.
I am the third as well. So
Hey,
we got 2/3 in
Mhm.
here.
Guess
What's up?
I'm failure.
You can just
Yeah.
leave.
You should
Is
just
that what you
get
guys
out.
said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Basically,
See you later.
it's with translation. Right when we started recording, my cat started meowing. I don't know if you can hear, but
I
No.
can't. Last time you said that she was meowing too, I couldn't hear either. So I think that means you're a liar.
I think we're in.
Hmm.
I actually don't have a cat. Fun fact. Fun fact. Oh man, would have been funny if we never addressed Podcat. Like if the podcasters never met this cat
Dude,
or the
Podcat?
listeners.
The
Yeah.
podcat, she's the best.
amazing.
She was in the office. She was in the office earlier, and I almost left her
Oh.
in here, but she would have caused mayhem. She would have
The
been,
hit
like,
TV show, The
scratching.
Office.
I
right.
get it. That was on episode, I don't know, number 10.
Number 10,
Go look at episode
season
number 10.
31.
Hey, before we get into anything, like and subscribe. Send it to a friend. Send it to a friend.
Yes.
Okay. Subscriber numbers falling flat.
It's
Mm.
true.
Mm.
Viewer numbers are too.
Have you tried creating
It's
multiple
exact-
accounts?
It's exactly.
And spamming.
just
Yeah.
subscribing to ourselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
No. That's the hack of the century.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I
Sometimes
do. I
I'll
mean,
pretend I'm someone else when I go like our video.
That's
Just kidding, I
awesome.
don't do that.
Oh.
Hey, I'm not me.
I am Jared, and I like
Hey,
these
Jared.
guys.
And you're 23. You never learned how to read.
And I don't know how to read, so I just
That's
listen to
a
podcasts.
classic. You remember
Also-
that Vine?
No, actually. Oh wait, yes, I do.
Yeah,
remember
you
that.
do. Okay.
That's a throwback. Also, if you're watching us on YouTube, we're on Spotify. So if you want to go check us out on Spotify, go check us out. Link is in the description. But if you're listening on Spotify, we're on YouTube. Come check us out. Subscribe.
Also,
like.
Yes, we have like a normal main 3 topics. We're going to put those as timestamps in the description.
It's a good
And
idea.
of course, sponsored by Cloud Music Suite. So go to Cloud Music Suite, sign up for some lessons, learn how to play an instrument, get smarter, get gooder. You know
Since
the deal.
$18.99
$18.99 and a half.
and a half. Amazing.
Anyway, how was your week, Sean?
It was very uneventful. Nothing has happened this week, pretty much. I've just been kind of like trying to find something to do. I start work in a couple weeks, so. But for the time being, I'm just kind of chilling,
Nice. Hey, nothing wrong with that.
doing it. How's your week?
Nothing wrong with that. It was pretty good. I got my last inspection ever on my car because
What?
once
It's
it's
never
30
gonna
years-
break.
No, I'm telling you. When the dude told me that, I was like, "Yeah, man, it's bad. Like, it's probably not gonna make it to next year." And he was like, "No, dude. Like, it's 30 years old, and you don't have to get an inspection after it's 30 years old." And I was like, "Oh, I got you." So maybe for more than one reason. Yeah, no inspection. You just pay your tag, and that's it.
Wow.
You know, you pay your
I-
tag and tax and title.
Did
Yeah.
not know that.
Isn't that
I-
sick?
That's crazy.
That is pretty sick. I was just like, yeah, I think me and Logan were on the same wavelength. We were like, it's never gonna break ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Man,
perfect.
I feel
I
like
wish.
it should be the opposite, where it's like you have
Yeah,
a car
like,
for
you gotta
5
start
years
bringing
and you
this
don't
thing
need
in
an
weekly, bro.
inspection. Yeah, right. Like, yeah, your
I
car's
think,
going to break.
I understand. Yeah, that makes sense logically, but I think the reason is they like update the inspection requirements as time goes on, and then like there's no. I think the idea is there's no way a 30-year-old car is going to pass an emissions test.
Yeah,
Mm.
probably.
It's just not going to happen, or it's just got so many things wrong with it that it's not going to pass anyway. So they just let it go. And yeah, he was like, "Dude, just run this thing." He said, "Oh, this wrong with it, that's wrong with it." I was like, "Yeah, I know." He was like, "But I wouldn't get it fixed if I was you. Just keep driving it."
Drive until it
plan on it.
dies.
Hey, this is
I've
honest.
told a few people, I'm like, "Yeah, I'll just drive it. It's going to explode on the way to work one day, and then I'm going to get a day off." I'm like, "Hey, sorry, I can't come in today. My car exploded."
Oh man, that's
And I wanted to be mad. I'll be like, "Good car.
damn.
Did a good job." Smack it, smack it on the hood and be like, "Good car," like a dog,
Yeah, you did good.
Dad pat. Yeah, just dad pat the car and then be like, "All right, let's get a ride home.
Nice.
Go buy a new car."
Oh man, You
the
had a
best.
good last couple years.
Man, she's been, dude. I've had that
Since
car for
I've
a long
known you, bro.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's been killing it.
Yeah.
Killing it. Old Hondas, man.
Yeah, they hold on.
Anyway, they do. So
Yeah.
my week's been pretty good.
Good.
What about you, Logan? How has your last week been, and then your last forever, since this is your first time on the podcast?
Yeah, I mean, this week's been pretty solid. It's been very much like a lot of music. So I've been rehearsing. I think I rehearsed with 3 different bands in the last 2 days. So that's cool.
Gangster.
Nice.
Doing jamming. I have a show this weekend, so just preparing for that. And yeah, just kind of, vegging out a little bit, relaxing while I can. I'm supposed to find out if I get a job tomorrow. Is that the one I want? So we'll see. That's kind of where I'm at, just like in this like weird like stage of limbo. But I'm like very much cool with it. Like I feel like I know for a fact the last 3 years of my life have been very chaotic. I have been overcommitted in so many ways. So the last month and a half has been very serene, not having a full-time job consuming my every waking thought. Because every full-time job I've had since college has been like all consuming. Like it's not been like I work 9 to 5 and then I'm done for the day. It's like, no, I'm doing things like all day long, almost every day. That it's just like, so I'm not doing that anymore. And it's great.
Gotcha.
So that's where I'm at right now.
That's good. Good luck on hearing back for the job.
Thanks.
Hope
I
that
Certainly
goes
good
well.
luck.
I'll be
Yeah.
sitting down and I'll get a message on my phone saying I got it or didn't. So we'll see.
Okay.
Hope
Well,
it goes well.
whatever
Thank you.
happens is the right thing.
What's
Yeah,
the
I
name of your
agree.
band?
Which one?
Yeah, I guess you got a couple
Oh.
of projects going.
Yeah, I have a lot
Give
of
us
projects.
your shout outs on your bands. Let's see.
Yeah,
I want
let's
to hear
hear 'em.
some. I need the update as well.
Yeah, so I am currently in a funk band called Barcerado. It's BARCERADO. I have to spell it out every time because otherwise you don't know. That's a 7-piece funk band. It's been around for 7 years now, but
Damn.
in the current form, yeah, it's crazy.
I did not
It
know
started
that was
out as a trio, and with Dustin Hanley, if you remember Dustin, he was in that
Love
band.
that guy.
Yeah, same here. And eventually it was just Enrique and I for a little bit, and then we brought on, I'm not gonna get the whole like life story, but we brought on Alex, and then everybody else kind of poured in later on. And we've been like our current form since like January 2020. So we had like 3 solid months of like gigging, and then March happened and we didn't play gig till like August of 2020. And even then it was still like really sketchy. But the last like year and a half, we've been like going solid, like 2 gigs a month minimally, which is really, really solid. It's, what we've been trying to do for a while anyway. So that's Barcerado. We just released an EP, shameless plug, called Let's Go Come On. It's on Spotify and all
Let's
the
go. Come
places.
on.
Let's go come on.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
Other than that, I'm currently in 2 other projects, and both of them don't have names yet. They're that fresh. So one is like a folk pop kind of hybrid that's still kind of developing its sound. My wife is in that one. Allison's in there with me.
What?
is really cool.
What
I
she
did
play?
not know that.
She sings very well.
What?
Yeah, she's got an angelic
Dude.
voice.
I am learning. Wow, that is what a husbandly thing to say. This is good. I'm going to send this to Allison and tell her to go to a specific time. You'll get some
Yeah.
points.
Do it.
There
Thank
you
you.
go. There you go.
So that's one band. That's with my friends Brooke and Christian, and then I'm also in another funk project where it's more of a it's kind of writing itself. We haven't really said it's a specific thing, but we're playing like stuff by the meters. So that's like this old school funk sound. It's like a trio, but we also have a 4th guy kind of going in, and there's 2 other guys who kind of go in and out. So it's like a collective, really. There's like, it's not like anyone's like really established yet. We've played 2 gigs, or we're going to be playing our 2nd gig rather this Sunday. But that project's a lot of fun just because I can kind of go to my roots and just play like hi-hat, snare, and kick, and it's just a lot of freaking fun. I mean, I do more than that, but like the grooves are all pretty much focused around that, and then I add embellishments around the kit. So that's that project. Like I said, both the last 2 projects don't have band names yet. We're still kind of feeling those out. So we don't even have social media for those. And technically I have another project called the Sunday Morning Project. That's very much still fresh too. So there's a lot of different things going on musically when it comes to ensembles that I am doing.
Yeah, the Sunday Morning Project was one of the ones that I was thinking of, because I remember seeing you post something about that on Instagram, and I didn't know if that was like one of your bands that you started.
Yes. It's literally Enrique and I from Barcerado. We both really like super chill, like R&B kind of feeling stuff. And we don't really have a place for that in Barcerado. Like we definitely have, like, we could throw some influence in there, but like as far as like the sound, we want to go pretty, we want to go deeper with it. So that's kind of where that's at. And the goal is just probably not even really play shows, just to release music online and have new music out there and just be creative and have fun. So
Cool.
the Instagram channel just acts as like a domain right now where we record demos in air quotes. So like there's 3 videos on there right now that is literally just iPhone quality audio. And it's more for our reference than anything right now. And eventually we'll have actual mastered tracks that are recorded video and stuff, and they'll go on there. But it's very loose right now.
Gotcha.
It's a lot of band.
That is a lot of band.
It is a lot of band.
Way more
Yeah.
band than I thought you were involved with. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's a lot. It is a
Why
lot.
do you like
I do
band so
enjoy it. I just love band, man.
Dang.
Love music.
Couldn't be me. I don't know anything about band. Never done it before.
LOL.
LOL. That's sick. I'm excited for you though. All
Thank you.
sounds like
Same.
really, really promising stuff.
Thank you.
I'm excited to hear.
Fulfilling stuff.
Yeah,
Yes.
fulfilling for sure. I've heard Barcerado live. I'm excited to hear these other things come into play.
Heck yeah.
Austin, do you have an article for us?
I do.
Nice.
Do you want to see it?
Yes, please.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
But
please.
first,
A.
wait. I'm a
wow,
boomer.
that was.
But first,
that was really.
I have to share my screen.
But wait.
Thank
Okay, while this is happening, I'll give a brief introduction to the article.
you. While I
So-
choke.
Yeah. There it is. For those of you that are unfamiliar, we're sponsored by Cloud Music Suite.
Hey, would you look at that?
Hey.
Your home for private music lessons.
That's
World-class
right.
instruction.
That's right. cloudmusicsuite.com.
Look at these
Dang.
instructors. Oh
Just
my
some of the
God.
best instructors out there since 1898.
Yes. Some of these have been on here since 1900, actually.
Amazing.
Impressive.
Very
Um,
impressive.
Yeah. So for those of you that are unfamiliar, me and Austin, typically one of us comes with an article. I believe. What are we on? We're on odd, right? So
I think so. I can't remember.
I think odds are Austin, evens are me, and it's always a raw reaction. Logan and I have not seen this article,
Mm.
so
No, and I'm very glad you haven't, because it's a good one. I hope you haven't read the top little bit. there.
I've just read like 2 words, but I had
So,
to look
all
away.
Yeah.
right, let's pull it up. Here we go. Soccer player dropped from team for endless locker room farting.
No,
No.
way.
Yeah, this was
No.
May 10th. This was very recent.
Oh my
2
god.
The
days ago,
subtitle
this was- yes,
is
the
the
subtitle
best.
says, sometimes you release the gas, sometimes the gas gets you released.
Oh my god.
And
That's a
there's
tough
picture of a
picture,
man
too.
getting beamed straight in the head with a soccer ball. Yeah. Anyway,
Actually, it looks like they're getting crop dusted.
It
it does look like they're getting crop dusted. They were like, dude, let's find the one that looks like they just smelled the nastiest part.
Oh my god.
That's some
God.
stank face right there. They
It
are not
is.
enjoying the smell.
We'll also do a website review, by the way, in just a sec. Once we get the details, the juicy fart details. Of this
Juicy part.
article. So this was just 2 days ago. It
Yes.
said, here, I'll just read a little bit. Little was known when the Lyon defender, I don't know if it's Lyon or Leon, I don't quote me, but French defender, he got released from the team because he refused to stop farting. He was repeatedly disruptive with his petulant flatulence. You know what petulant means? Like childish. It was childish even? Like, I guess he would like lift his leg, and be like,
Oh my god.
You made it like very theatrical.
farting and laughing repeatedly during team meetings, even interrupting a speech by team captain so-and-so.
No way.
So unfortunate. He's 34.
No way.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
He sounds like a good time.
He does
Sounds like
sound
a guy I
good
could go
time.
hang out with. I don't know.
Same. He began farting and laughing while the team manager was in close proximity. the club booted him, citing inappropriate behavior, and then he got demoted. And then apparently his fart antics continued, and then he got completely released.
Oh my
So-
God. Though
Wow.
we wait with bated and held breath to find. Oh man. That's so weird. That must have been the weirdest vibe in that locker room.
For real.
Yeah, probably everyone's like trying to be serious, and he's like, "Hey, I know we just lost, guys, but listen to this."
Yeah. He like comes in with just like a cup, and he's just like, "Guys, I caught a butterfly," and like he farted in the cup and just gives it. Like he's just making it a big theatrical moment everywhere he goes.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh man, that's a good one. So, got to give a shout out to one of my private students. We were doing a bunch of reps. Yeah, we were doing a bunch of reps, and he was getting lost in the sauce. So I was like, all right, let's just take a break for just a sec. I said, tell me a story real quick, and then we'll get back to it. So he thought for a second. He was like, oh, there was a French soccer player who got fired for, and then he said, guess what he got fired for? And I was like, what? I don't know. I said, give me a hint. And he was like, I can't remember what he said for the hint, but he was, I got it wrong. And he was like, farting. And then in that moment, I was like, no way. I had to Google it right then. I was like, what? That's how I found this article. So
that's
amazing.
amazing.
let's give it a website review. We got some ads over here on the right. We got some sports bet ads. That makes sense though. It's like relevant ads because this is a sports.
Yeah, they're all
thing.
sports specific.
More articles. Respect.
Yep, sponsored content.
Comments. Wow, dude. It's been a long time since I've seen blog comments.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not mad though.
It's not the worst. I mean, it's pretty decent. Like I know what I'm trying to read here.
Oh my God. The top comment says, I didn't know your mom played soccer.
And his name is
Lieutenant Commander Beef.
Yeah, Commander Beef.
Commander Beef.
Well, Lieutenant.
Wow. That's amazing. All right, Austin, what would you rate it?
It's a good one. Oh, I mean, I think it's pretty good, man. I think I'd give it like it was really short. I don't know. I'm glad they didn't drag it out though. I'm gonna give it a 6.
I like that. 6 is good. I'll give it a 6. I was thinking a 6 too.
What do
What's
you
our
think, Logan?
highest?
I was thinking 7.
Our highest was a 7.
I was personally thinking 7. I do agree the article is a little short, but I don't know if it really needs any more information. I like the layout that there's enough of the article in the majority of the screen. Just to the right are related articles, or not articles, ads. I like that.
true.
And this might be really weird, but I really like that color blue. It's like
okay.
nostalgic for me. And I think it
top?
like, yeah, like their branding in general and how they have a lot of their hyperlinks in that same color. I don't know. It just like speaks
The
to me
accent.
personally. And it's like kind of nostalgic. It reminds me of like the forum days back in like the early 2000s when you're online.
You're right. It's kind of old school. Actually,
Yeah.
kind of looks like old school Facebook even.
Yeah, it does.
I could see that.
But it's cleaner though. It looks clean.
It's definitely
for
cleaner,
being
yeah.
modern, like a modern website. So
Oh,
that's
yeah,
why I
makes
give it a
sense.
7.
Makes sense.
Scroll back down to the comments real quick. Dude, the names of these users, like these are all just that dude. It feels like
It's probably all the same guy. He was like,
man.
"Oh, I'm gonna fart in this locker room and comment on this."
Tomfoolery 27.
Lieutenant Commander Beef, and then I don't know what that's.
I don't know about the last one, but
That one's probably a real name. Yeah. Anyway,
That's amazing.
so there's the article.
that's a good
It's a
one.
good one. Yeah. Stop sharing screen. Yeah. Hey, I'm back.
Hey, welcome back.
Thanks.
your best friends.
Hey, this is a good time to. Oh yeah, that's the intro. This is a good time to say, I want to be able to share, and still have a camera where you could see my face. So, Logan, I heard you recently got a Mac Mini. I've been considering getting a MacBook for like way too long. Sean and Logan both know I'll like sit on a decision to buy something for actually years.
Mhm.
So I've been sitting on maybe buying a MacBook for years, and I haven't
Okay.
ever done it.
There's one
So
case where that hasn't been the case, and it was the AirPod Max.
the AirPod Max. I think I got on a call with Sean, and I was like, dude, these AirPod Max. He was like, wait, what? You got them? I was like, yeah, dude, I just bought them. You were like, you bought those? I was like, yeah, me, dude. I bought it. He was like, wow, I'm proud of you, man. You bought something for yourself. That's amazing. He said, you're the last person I thought would have bought those. I was like, they changed my life. They were
I'm not gonna
I
lie
had
to
an
you.
experience with these. I went into the Apple store. It was really loud because it was like a Saturday. And I put them on. I was listening to some song, and it was a song I'd heard a bunch of times. Something popular. And I was like, whoa, I've never heard all those things in this song before. That's sick. And then I was like, what do these buttons do? So I was like messing with them, and I clicked the noise canceling button. Oh my God. You said the word serenity earlier, Logan. That's what I felt. It was like,
Yeah.
the whole world just, I was looking around, watching people have conversations, couldn't hear them.
Mhm.
I was just enjoying my music. I was like, dude, I gotta get these.
That's
I gotta
amazing.
get these. I left. So in typical me fashion, I left the Apple store. I was like, no, absolutely not. That's ridiculous. Why would I do this? Told Kindle about it. She said, I got to try these too. And then she tried them. She had like the exact same experience. And I was like, I guess I'm not crazy. I'm definitely buying these right now.
The second visit and everything. Dang.
That was my most impulsive purchase in the last forever.
Yeah, that's fair.
Probably ever.
Well, if
I use them all the time though.
if we're going to talk about Apple products,
Yeah,
even
that's
though
what I
I'm
want.
a
Sorry, I
nerd.
went off on a whole tangent.
No, I
wanna
appreciate
hear
the tangent.
all
I
about
think
the
it's
Apple
important.
products, and I want to hear about the Mac Mini. I want to hear why I should get a Mac Mini instead of a MacBook, or vice versa.
Maybe you shouldn't.
And
Yeah.
maybe I shouldn't. I don't know.
Let's
see.
talk about your needs. All right, that's the first step. I want to hear about you, Austin. Tell me about why you need a new
You
computer.
want the real Austin.
Oh, my tech needs. Okay. Okay.
Your aspirations.
Why do I need a computer?
Yeah, this is going to be my active interview for the Apple sales position, by the way. So pretend I'm wearing an Apple shirt right now. You don't know me, and you walk into the Apple store for the first time, and you're saying, hey, I need a new Apple computer.
Oh, hey, your mask is see-through. I can see.
Oh, don't worry about that.
Another mask on?
Oh, yeah,
okay.
hold on.
Hey, it's supposed to go over your nose too. Oh, there we go.
That's good. Yeah. I
All
can't
right.
see half your face, so that's good. Yeah.
Yes, this is perfect.
Perfect.
Anyway, why do I need it? I want to be able to run music writing software and write music. Well, yeah, run music writing software. I'll use it for meetings because why not? And I want to be able to use it for video things. So like, it would be nice to be able to video edit. It'd be nice to be able to record. It'd be nice to be able to have like I'm sure I could do this with the iPad I'm on right now, but have like a little box, like a switcher box where you can have like a bunch of things plugged into it. And you can like switch the audio from this to that. I don't know all the terms, but you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
So those are the main things. Yeah.
Okay. So of those three things, so I heard music notation, basically meetings, like digital meetings, and then production between video and audio, which those could be split into two different things, but we'll group them into one. Of those three things, how often do you see yourself leaving your house to do those said things? Will you do those things mainly in your house, or would you be needing to do those things remotely?
If I needed to do those things remotely, I would be okay with the iPad because I'm using the iPad right now.
Right.
So if I was to do them remotely, I would do them on a different device. I wouldn't do them on either of those two devices.
Okay. The reason I ask is like, for example, like if like you'd easily could do the last two, like the production and the meetings on a Mac Mini. Like you easily could do that, or even just a computer that is like stationary at home, right? But if you were needing to notate music and you need to be like in a band room working with somebody or being anywhere and collaborating with somebody that isn't your house, you can't really do that on an iPad with Finale, I don't believe, unless is Finale on an iPad? Yeah.
Not that I know of. I mean, I've looked for it, so maybe they changed, but I don't think so.
I doubt it. So how much of a determining factor would that be as far as having the need to take your work outside of the house when it comes to writing music on Finale?
Probably pretty low.
Okay. So I have a lot of different opinions on basically we'll just group 3 computers: the MacBook Pro, and we'll talk about how that branches out, but the MacBook Air, and then the Mac Mini, right? Those are like the 3 tiers that I would consider for you. The Mac Mini, which I actually just bought like 3 weeks ago, I got a renewed one for $558. That was the grand total. That's literally the same price as your AirPod Maxes, right? Like pretty similar ballpark. And this is a computer, you know what I mean? Like this thing is very powerful.
So
All
powerful.
3 of these computers have the same exact processor. It's the same processor. The only difference is between obviously the MacBook Air and the MacBook Pro. The MacBook Pro has fans where the MacBook Air does not have fans. There's also another big difference with the MacBook Pro versus the Air is that both actually start the MacBook Pro and Air versus the Mac Mini. The MacBook Pro / Air only does one external output. So you can only, and this is like honestly one of the biggest reasons I did not buy one. Also, it's like $1,200 versus $558. But you can only do one extra screen, and then Mac Mini does, I think, up to 3. I actually might be just 2. I only have 2.
The MacBook Pro allows you to have 2 monitors.
Which one do you have?
I don't know. It was like
the
I
one
think
with
it was
the slidey thingy.
Yeah, it's the one with the
that
touch
little
bar.
that they
and-
took away.
If it's an M1, it does not, because my last work computer I had was an M1. I'm talking exclusively about the M1 processors.
Got it. Okay, yeah,
So-
no, mine was not an M1 processor.
Gotcha. Yeah, the Intel ones could do that fine, but M1, it's the way that they have it manufactured. I won't nerd out about it, but
That's a bummer.
yeah, it does
that's not
suck.
fun.
However, they have the new MacBook Pros, the 14 and the 16 inches, but the starting price of that is $2,000. And those have ports on them. They have HDMI, they have SD, they have USB-C, they have Thunderbolt. And they
That's
have
the main
dedicated-
reason why I haven't wanted to buy one, because I'm like, do I really need it? Like every time I'm about to
Yes.
drop $2,000, I'm like, do I need this right now?
$2,000 is a lot of money. And honestly, this is one other reason why I bought the Mac Mini. The Mac Mini has all of those ports. Is it as powerful? No, it's definitely not as powerful. But that's a whole conversation on itself as far as do you actually need that power or not? I'll talk about that in a second. But this thing has the same amount of ports. It's not exactly the same, but it's very close to being the same ports as the new MacBook Pros, right? And it costs literally 1/4 the price of a base model version of the new MacBook Pros. Because like my thing was, I need a computer. I don't have a job right now. Like I'm doing things to make money, but it's not like full-time income. So I can't by any means justify $2,000 out of pocket for the computer I actually want. That's the base model version. So the next closest thing would be the Mac Mini. However, I can't take it out of my house. But I do have an iPad, and most of the things that I would be doing outside of my house, I can do on my iPad.
What do you typically use your computer for? Like what tasks or like compute intensive tasks would you say you use your computer for?
The most obvious ones would be audio production. So I recorded all of Barceroto's last album on my work computer, which is, like I said, it's the same processor as this one. So it'd be basically the equivalent. It's the same computer, basically. So I recorded, I think it was like 14, 15 tracks at once with that computer. I had it downstairs and just had it going through a mixer / audio interface. That's a lot of processing power, and it handled it very well. So that'd be the first thing, plus like mixing and doing, light audio production, nothing crazy. I'm not like a super big engineer or anything. Secondly, I do like pretty light graphic design on here, like nothing crazy, but very much not intensive, I should say. I'm not a graphic designer, but what I do is definitely, I've tried doing it on my phone and on my iPad, and it just sucks the life out of me. Like literally cannot do it. It sucks. And then thirdly would be video production. I haven't been doing that as much lately because work and stuff. But you definitely need a machine that can process graphically and just the processor in general. Like you have to have power for those. Otherwise, you're not going to have a good time. It's just not fun. It's boring. You're sitting there waiting for things to render. It's not fun. So
yeah, I was gonna say, like, I feel like Apple computers are typically known for how well they're able to use like video production software.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a good benchmark to know whether or not you should get the Mac Mini or like a MacBook
Yeah.
Pro, because like if the Mac Mini can handle some of the video production stuff that you do,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like certain that the stuff that you would need to use it for, Austin, the Mac Mini would be perfect.
The only thing to keep in mind with the Mac
What
Mini
about like a
is
15-minute video? If I was to edit that
easily.
in some way, it's
Yeah.
like we could definitely handle it very easily.
There are YouTube videos out there with this computer specifically handling like I think was like 4 to 8 streams of 8K video. So that
The heck?
is very powerful. I mean, it could be sorry, I was in a Discord call apparently and I forgot to exit out of it. So someone just heard that bit of conversation and it distracted the crap out of me. Anyways, yeah, so apparently this thing can handle a lot. I like one of the first things I did was actually edit something on this and it was flawless.
So how'd you get it like what'd you say? You said it got like remat, like what was the word?
Refurbished.
Renewed.
So I
refurbished.
actually bought it from Amazon. If you have, I would recommend either buying a refurbished one from Apple. I'm not saying I have any problems with this specific computer. I have had 0 issues with this thing. I've had it for 3 or 4 weeks now. But if I had a little bit more money, I would have bought either one with a bigger hard drive, because this is the base model. Like this is the one you go online. It's like, I think it starts at 700, like $699 is like the starting price for a brand new one. I think it's wise to, if you're going to buy this specific computer, whether it has a bigger hard drive or not, or bump specs or anything, to look on eBay, because Apple just released the Mac Studio, and it's basically the next step up from the Mac Mini. It's so you know how they released the 14 and 16-inch MacBook Pro? It's kind of like that version, how they upgraded the 13-inch MacBook Pro. It's kind of like that step of the Mac Mini. So it's a beefier machine. That thing starts at $2,000. It's very powerful. It's more power than I need.
Yeah.
And if I was doing video production full time and doing a bunch of crazy intensive processing, I would buy that. But this can do what I need to do. And I honestly am not like juggling too much power. So I think you need to know, anybody who needs to know like how much power they actually need, not like thinking like what I could do, but what is like the day in tasks that I do now, and what power does that require? Because you can always buy for the future, but at the same time, most of the time you buy, like if you spent $2,000 on a MacBook Pro, like the 14-inch model for the ports, like you might as well buy a $1,200 base level 13-inch MacBook Pro and then just buy a dongle, as sucky as dongles are. But if that's the only reason you're buying one, you don't need all that power, more than likely, if you're just buying it for the ports. You know what I mean? It's like, I think there's it goes a lot deeper than people think, just because Apple products are very expensive and they very much have a market, they have a plan, and they very much have like the grasp of their customers. Like they bring these machines out that are $2,000 that a lot of people have probably bought, and they don't need that much power. They genuinely don't need that much power when they can just buy a $700 Mac Mini. So
yeah,
spiel over, but that's kind of my thoughts. I mean,
so you think I should get a Mac Mini?
I would say if you are willing to do all of your remote tasks on your iPad, then yes, 100% buy a Mac Mini, because it's stationary. There's ways to take it with you. It's small and compact. So if you did need to go on vacation and you need a machine, you literally can just throw it in a bag. You just need a display, obviously, but you could just throw it up to a TV. You have to carry your mouse and keyboard with you. But I mean, it's not a laptop, but it's
as portable as a desktop.
I would have to
can
buy
be.
a keyboard. I'd have to buy a keyboard.
You'd have to buy a mouse and keyboard and displays if you don't
I
have
have
those
a
already.
Monitor. Dude, that's gonna get so expensive. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
I mean, keyboards and like mice can get pretty cheap.
Yeah,
like you can get like ones that work just fine for.
Mm-hmm.
You can probably get both a keyboard and a mouse for under $50-$60. Like,
yeah, I agree. So, and I have bougie stuff because I'm bougie when it comes to technology. Like this like goes between 3 computers, and I actually do use that as a functionality. But like, you don't need that. You know what I mean? Like, this mouse is not a necessity. The one Sean has is not
Apple
a necessity.
got me.
Yeah.
It's great.
But
I love this mouse, but it is steep.
Yeah.
It's like 119, right?
Yeah, something like that.
You can definitely get carried away with all of the antics of peripherals.
Well, here's
and
a
stuff.
question. Here's my final question about
Some of these
Apple, Logan.
keyboards.
Those are nice keyboards. Yes, hit me.
Are you a shareholder of Apple? Because if not, you need to be.
I'm not.
I'll tell you right now. There's a lot of people who know a lot about the financials of Apple
Yeah.
that are shareholders, but I would say most of those people couldn't talk how you're talking about Apple products. Whenever you said, everyone knows how they, and I was like, shoot, I did not know that.
I'm a nerd, dude.
I
I'm
was
a
like,
nerd.
dang.
I'm a niche nerd. I have my
Also,
niches.
Apple's down like 21% year to date. So good.
Ooh,
That's a good
Not
point,
financial
actually.
advice, but
That's a great point.
you should definitely buy some Apple stock tomorrow. Do it, Logan.
Yeah, I'll wake up. Was it the stock market opens at 7, right?
9:30.
Or was it 8? 9. Yeah, I was close.
yeah, perfect. And
Yeah.
GameStop. Okay, no, next.
No.
Oh no, stop.
I'm
All
all
right.
Don't
see
get
you
Austin
guys,
going.
Disclaimer.
It's been your best friends. Have a great. I will not condone.
Big disclaimer. Yeah. I think you should, knowing who you are, Austin, and knowing just like the tasks that you would need it for. I feel like a Mac Mini would do everything you need it to do.
Yeah, but then I gotta get a monitor and a mouse and a
Well, you have a
keyboard.
monitor.
Well, yeah, I know, but that's.
I have
not
an
the
extra
point.
keyboard if you want one. I mean, not to talk about
Ah,
all of this on a
let's
podcast,
go.
but
we'll talk about it later. All right.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Definitely interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do our top 3 ranking. You ready for the top 3 ranking?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
So this is top 3 mobile games of all time. All time is not that long because mobile games haven't been around that long. So all time is what, like 12 years, something like that?
Yeah, it must be
Maybe a little bit more.
ballpark.
Yeah, somewhere around there. So since mobile games existed, what's the best mobile games of all time? Top 3. And we're
Not
gonna
gonna
go.
lie.
We're gonna go in a circle.
I think I got the goat. I got the goat 3. I'm not gonna lie.
Do you?
Oh yeah, I got the best ones.
So I need to give a disclaimer before I give mine. Either I didn't hear this when Sean said it or Sean didn't say it, that these are the top 3 of all time. So mine are not the top 3 of all time. They're just
These are
my
top
my
3.
top 3.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
So
yeah,
just
I
a disclaimer
Your
because
top
people
3
will
of all
look.
time.
Your top 3 of all time. Yeah.
You would hear what I'm at with the 3 that I'm going to list and be like, wait, have you ever played any mobile game ever?
What?
So this is
Dang.
just a disclaimer. I probably said it and it went over my head just knowing me, but
I'm going
No,
for
that's fair.
I'm going for top 3. Who wants to go first with their first one? Just do one and then we'll move to the next person. And then
word.
I can go first. I think my first one is one that, well, okay, I know my first one is one that Austin has played, and I bet it's going to be on his list. My first one is Clash of Clans. Yeah, I mean that one's relatively like old. You know, it's not a new game. I played it a lot when I had an iPod Touch, which was, that's a big throwback.
that is a big throwback.
Yeah, it's basically where you create this little village, like this little town, and as you play the game, you get the ability to upgrade the town, add more things to the village that allow you to build more resources, and then you get to attack other people's towns. Essentially, that's pretty much the majority of it. So like, it's one of those games where you go in, you do a couple of things, and then it's like very much passive. So you'll like go buy a couple of things or start a couple of resources to be created, and then you'll like go off your phone, and then you'll get a notification that says like, oh, this is done. And then you can come in and go raid somebody's village. You also want to put out defenses around your village as well. I don't know if I said that, but
Yeah. I agree so much that that's my first one. It's Clash of Clans.
Called it.
Clash of
Knew it.
Clans, dude. It gets a goat pick for mobile games. Like the amount of people that play that game still to this day is bonkers.
Yeah.
The amount of money that game makes is bonkers. The amount of loyal players, where it's like, if you just say Clash of Clans in like a regular, just anywhere, most people are gonna know at least what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And they
If
probably
not, have
played
it on their phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they might have played it the last time they went to the bathroom. Because that's where
So
mobile
true.
games are played. Yeah. I think you did a good summary of it. For anyone that's played Clash of Clans in the past, they've changed it a lot. It's like I don't know. It's probably harder now. Oh, it's definitely harder now. There's more strategy. So, more variety means that there's more different strategy. But yeah, great game. Great game.
Nice.
I agree. Logan, what's your first one?
Dude, I used to play Clash of Clans in high school. I just want to say that first. And I saw y'all playing it in Dayton, or somebody was playing it, and my mind blew. I completely forgot it existed. I had erased it from my mind.
Ryan had it on his iPad.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So it triggered me, and now y'all saying it again has also triggered me again, because I'm like, yeah, that's a really
Amazing
obvious
game.
choice. It's a fantastic game. I haven't played it in almost a decade.
Yeah,
like
this conversation is making me want to go download it again.
I know it's
a
a
good one.
It's so good.
Speaking of over a decade, this my first game. So this isn't top one. This is the third one. I said that weird. You know what I'm saying?
I get
It's
what
not
you're
my
saying.
top one. Yeah. And this game I played in high school, like freshman year, so literally over a decade ago. And it's very much like a mindless game, but it's very ebb and flow. And this game is called Tiny Wings. I don't know if y'all have ever heard this game.
Oh,
Yeah. I know
Yeah.
Tiny Wings.
That's
So
a good one.
Tiny Wings, and it's still available. I actually just re-downloaded this game about 4 months ago, and I play it every now and again. Tiny Wings is a game where you have this cute little bird, and play it with the audio on for one, because the sound design in this game is so serene and it's beautiful, and it's also adorable because the bird is just so cute. I wish I could just like pull it up and play it right now. But basically, you start in your nest, the sun comes up, the bird jumps, and there's all these hills. And it's kind of like that. What is the name of that? There's one game where you're in a car and you do the same thing. It's like a hill climber game. But instead of like accelerating, you are just solely going on gravity, and you're depending on the dips, your timing of your bird hitting the ground on the dip to not be abrupt. So it has to be smooth, and then it's like another takeoff. And the more consecutive takeoffs you have, the further you fly and the faster you go. And you also can get coins, and there's like other things that go in the game. But it's very much just like a timing game, or you just have to vibe with the game itself for the game to work. You know what I mean? Like you have to vibe, otherwise you're not going to be successful at this game. But
I feel like with mobile games, just generally speaking, you can definitely just get way too complex to the point that it's not fun, or
Mhm.
it can be like just like really simple. There's like a weird happy medium where you can get like a good complexity of a game, but it's like enough. It's not too much complexity to where it's like fun to enjoy. And then you have a game like that it's like, it's just so simple. It's just like, it feels satisfying to play.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I agree. I was going to say I respect the simplicity of what you're explaining.
Yeah. I like it.
Love it. Sean, what's your second?
My number 2 is Jetpack Joyride.
Oh,
Jetpack
wow.
Joyride is I've played that game so many times. It's basically this side-scrolling game. You have a little dude. He has a jetpack that shoots bullets out for whatever reason, and it's a runner game. So he like starts running, and you want to like jump over obstacles that are coming in your way, and you want to see how far you can get. So there's some kind of counter. It's been a while since I played it, so I don't know if it's like what the distance counter is, or if it's like checkpoints or something. But basically, you just keep running, and you click the screen to get the jetpack to propel you off the ground to go over obstacles, and then you'll have to like hover in between like some fields that could hurt you. You'll get like a bunch of power-ups that can cause you to do some cool stuff. That's another one like similar to the one that Logan described. That's like, I enjoy the simplicity of that, and it's very, very addicting, and I like that one.
Yeah, I think the OG of those runner games was Temple Run, or at least the OG that got really famous. Have you ever heard of Temple Run?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
That was the first game that came to mind, by the way, when you said of all time.
That game
Great
was
mobile
so
games.
addictive.
Yeah.
That's not my number 2, but I'll give it an honorable mention.
Honorable mention, yeah.
Honorably mentioned it. In true honorable mention. Nice. I like that one. My number 2 is Bloons Tower Defense. And I don't really care which one, but I think 5 was the one I enjoyed the most and liked the most. So Bloons Tower Defense, really, really good game. It's basically like any other tower defense game, but the Bloons, I guess I have like a nostalgia thing with it too. There was an old school Bloons where it was like this monkey that was at the bottom of the screen, and then you like he threw a dart, and you decided where he threw the dart with your cursor, like on an old PC game back in the day.
Yeah.
And you would like pull it and then you'd shoot it in a particular direction and it would like bounce around this little thing and you'd see how many balloons you could get. And you had to get all the balloons basically. And then they just kept making games. And I always loved tower defense games. So when the Bloons that I already played was mixed with tower defense that I already loved, I was like, oh, this is perfect. And I thought they did a great job and they made it really fun. And you can like make these big super towers and yeah, very fun.
That was one of those games that I played on my computer in school when I shouldn't have been.
Dude,
In high school.
Yes.
That one was a good one.
Those are great.
Yeah, I respect that choice. That one, I didn't even think about that one. I forgot about it. Definitely a good mobile game.
It is.
Heck yeah. What's your second one, Logan?
All right. So I'm really torn with this second slot. Like I have two specific games that come to mind, and both of them are not at root mobile games. At least they didn't start as mobile games.
I think I know one of them.
Maybe I'll tell you what it is in a second. I want to by default just be like Angry Birds because like that needs an honorable mention because like that's a great game I played a lot.
Yeah.
So if I was going off of all time, I definitely would throw that in here. But the one I actually put down is a new game. It's been out for like maybe 6 months. And it's called Rocket League Sideswipe. If you don't know what Rocket League is, it's car soccer, and it's primarily like a console/PC game, and it is 3D on the consoles and and yeah, it's you have 3 players, 2 players, 1 player. There's different game modes, but it's literally car soccer. You have boosts. You can launch your car. You get these little pads that get boosts, and that's the computer game. The mobile game is a little simpler, and it is 2D, so it goes up and down, left and right, and that's about it. So I think it goes up to 2v2, and there's normal soccer. There's been volleyball in the past. There's also basketball. It's very simple, but it also does take a lot of brain power. It does. You have to function and like correct all of your movements and be like very precise with your car angles and how much boost you use and how hard you're gonna hit the ball or how soft you're gonna hit the ball. Like all that goes into it. So like there's similarities between the console game and the mobile game, and I'm addicted to the console game. So I played on PC all the time. So when they released that game on mobile phone, man, I'm just dropping them all. When they released it on the phone, I naturally picked it up, and like I have 8 games on my phone, and like actually no, technically I have 6 games on my phone, and this definitely takes the cake. Nice. Real quickly, the other one I was thinking about mentioning was Roller Coaster Tycoon Classic. The reason I'm not putting that in this list is because that game is very much not a mobile game, and they literally ported it for the phone, and it's literally all the same functionality, but you replace the cursor with your finger. So it's the same build mechanics, all that. And like I grew up playing that game. I won't get into all the details, but Roller Coaster Tycoon has like my heart. And the fact that they put Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 basically on there, they combine 2 and 1 on there and put it on the phone /iPad. I played on my iPad personally, but the fact that they did that, like they won me over, So that's kind of why I was like wanting to putting it in there, but I just don't really fully consider it a mobile game. So Sideswipe is a dedicated game.
Roller Coaster Tycoon, that is a good game. I put a lot of hours into that when I was younger. Me and my brothers. I never played Sideswipe, but I am a huge fan of Rocket League. Have you played Rocket League, Austin?
I have not.
I feel like you would like it a lot.
I would pay money to see that. I really need to see this. I'm tempted to bring my computer over and like,
yeah,
we're gonna have your hand.
We're gonna have to play Rocket League. I think you'd like it.
Yeah,
but what you have seen it, right?
I've seen a few clips like here and there, but
yeah,
it's intense.
I'll have to check out Sideswipe. I've never played it, but Rocket League,
it's fun. I think you'll like it.
Nice. My last one is, and I definitely didn't put as many hours into this as I did the other ones, but I just feel like it is definitely one of the best mobile games, and I definitely played a lot of it. And Logan mentioned it, Angry Birds.
Yeah.
I just think it's very simple, and you're just throwing birds to destroy some structures and get points. And
it's pigs.
Yeah,
kill pigs. That's right. I think it's smart just how many, like they're probably getting a lot of money from it too, because they've made so many different like Angry Birds
Yeah.
for the phone.
I saw
Themed
someone playing one the
ones.
other day, and I was like, "What is that?" They were like, "That's
Yeah.
Angry Birds." I was like, "Oh my god, I didn't know they were still making games." They're
Yeah,
killing it.
they like make like brand new ones. Yeah, I don't know. Angry Birds, everyone knows it, everyone loves it. It's definitely a goat pick for me.
Yeah, it definitely gets a goat pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, I have an
Ah.
honorable mention.
Okay.
My honorable mention is Tiny Tower. I don't know if you guys ever played that game.
I have not played Tiny
but
Tower.
I abused that game in high school. It's basically you start out with like a 3-floor tower or something like that. And it's like a restaurant and a hotel. And the goal is to just keep building floors. And it's similar to Clash of Clans in the sense that like you set things and then you walk away from it and you get a notification when it's done, you come back. And it's like people will come in and check into the hotel, and you want to get more people to come and check in the hotel and then go into the restaurant. And then you want to add another floor. And it's like, okay, I have a lot of restaurants and stores, but not enough people coming in. So I need to add a hotel. And it's like, you just want to keep stacking floors and get as high as you can. That one.
I can see how that would be addictive. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that.
Mention.
I'm going to do my honorable mentions before I do my third, but I think my honorable mention would have to be Candy Crush, because that proliferated, or I'm not sure if I said that word right, but the proliferated society so quickly, and it was like this big craze for the longest time, and some people still play it. So Candy Crush gets an honorable mention, and actually Minecraft Pocket Edition gets an honorable mention, because I think that's one of the things that kind of pushed Minecraft into the limelight was the Pocket Edition, where younger kids were playing it. This is probably not the best thing, but like at like family dinners and stuff, when they wouldn't shut up. So they would play Minecraft Pocket Edition. It was for so long the top selling like paid game on the App Store for so long.
Oh yeah, multiple years.
So that's got to get an honorable mention. But my goat pick is Angry Birds, bro. Such a good game, dude.
It's a good
Speaking of like just classics that have stuck around for so long, and it like putting the nail in the coffin was when I saw someone playing a new Angry Birds the other day, and I was like, dang, that's amazing. Because like when I was in high school, oh my god, dude, that was everything. Angry Birds was everything.
Yep.
That game.
So that's my third.
Game's amazing. I forgot one more honorable mention, Fruit Ninja. That one.
Oh
my gosh, I forgot about Fruit Ninja.
Yeah, I did too.
Ninja.
That one's a good one. It's another one of those very like mindless, like you don't have to it's not very taxing on your cognition. You just fruit flies up and then you just swipe.
You swipe it.
Yeah, that's it. It's so fun.
Dude, that's literally every Oculus game that I see.
That's so true.
Every Oculus game.
It's just like Fruit Ninja and then Fruit Ninja with skins. Just like something completely
Fruit
different.
Ninja with Guitar Hero.
Yeah, exactly. Beat Saber.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fruit Ninja, that's a good one. All right, Logan.
All right. I get a drum roll. All right, my top mobile game of all time is actually an Apple Arcade game, so it's pretty recent, and it's called Mini Motorways.
Never heard of it.
I think I have heard of it.
It's a strategy game, and it deals with flows of traffic on a very simple level. So at its core, you click a map. So you can click like New York or Tokyo or something like that, different cities, and it'll just spawn a map, nothing on it. And all of a sudden a workplace pops up of a color. So it'll be like a red color. So it'll be a red workplace, and a red home pops up. So your goal is to link with roads. You have a limited amount of resources. You put the roads to the workplace to get red cars to red workplaces. And there's like all this crazy strategy that I've literally spent several hours on YouTube watching videos to like figure out other people's strategies, because it gets really complex. Like it starts with like maybe 2-3 colors. So you'll have like a red workplace, blue workplace, and green workplace, and correlating houses that go with that. And you have to figure out a way to get all 3 of those faucets to their respective places without interfering with each other. Like you technically could do intersections and stuff, but all the workplaces have a timer on them. So if your workplace is not getting, for example, it has like little things that come up. It says how many employees are needed. So if you're not getting 2 red employees, red cars to the red workplace in the time that it requires, your game explodes and you're done. So it goes more complex than that. Like there's highways, there's bridges, and there's other things, and they're all limited resources that you get at the end of the week. So yeah, I won't go into any more like extreme detail, but it's basically a strategy game that you have to figure out flows of functioning traffic and keeping traffic flow on a minute level, but it gets very complex. So look it up. It's called Many Motorways. It's fun to watch on YouTube, and it's very fun to play. It's a game you'll spend hours on. Like literally, you'll spend a whole hour of your time playing this game.
Dang.
Yeah, it's fun. It's addicting.
That's huge. I'm gonna have to take a look at that. I've heard of it, but I've never seen like gameplay videos or anything like that.
Oh,
So like the directing traffic thing reminds me of a game that was like pretty old. Well, it's not that old, but it's like about as old as like the iPad. So like when the original iPad came out, it came out. And it was like directing like airplane traffic. And it was like you had a couple like it was much more simplistic than what you just described, but it's basically just like airplanes come in and you have to like direct them to an airport. But as more and more airplanes came in, it like became increasingly more difficult to stop the planes from hitting each other. So you had to like redirect their path and shit. But yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that one out. I like that.
Yeah, it's a good time. Unfortunately, it does require the Apple Arcade subscription. I think they do. If you've never done it before, I'm pretty sure you can get a free trial. I think when I first got it, I had 3 months free. So there's the ways to play it that don't require you paying for it, but Apple Arcades is $4.99 otherwise. So there have been times where I've literally paid $4.99 just to play this game. So that's how good this game is. And it sucks that that's the case. I wish I could just buy the game. I've looked into it. I've tried to find ports. Nothing's out there. It's literally only on arcade. So
is it only on, well, I guess it must be because it's on arcade. I was going to ask if it was only on mobile or if it's something you can get on like Steam or something.
No, yeah, it's only on mobile. Like I'm pretty sure I could play it on.
You can get it on the iPad too.
Yeah, I primarily play it on the iPad. I don't like playing it on my phone because like I like to use the Apple Pencil because it's just a little more agile than using my finger for all the different.
That makes sense.
It's just like you are literally drawing on tiles. Yeah, man. It's literally I'm using a Pro pencil. You know, nice. Thing,
quite literally.
iPad Pro. Yeah.
Sick. Well, those are the top 3 mobile games of all time.
Yeah,
I like it.
In our opinions, of course.
Yes.
Right. No.
Yes. No.
It's actually.
What's your top 3? Put your top 3 in the comments. Top 3 in the comments.
Please do.
I want to hear them. And if you disagree with me, you're no longer my best friend. No,
get out.
I would love to hear. I would love to get some nostalgia, some blast from the past nostalgia.
Yeah,
because like so many of those, like when you said Fruit Ninja, I was like, dang, what a great game.
Yeah.
So so many good old mobile games.
Really are.
Oh, by the way, my iPad got very close to dying. I clicked the screen and I was like,
I knew it.
1%. That's why I was doing all that craziness.
Yeah.
Are you on 1%?
I was. My audio probably sounds a lot worse now.
Yeah, it's not as good.
This is just a prop now.
That's great.
I'll move it out of the way.
Checked it.
All right.
Yeah, I did check it.
That's good.
It's
good you saved it.
Thought of the week, and then I saved it. Thought of the week, and then wrap it.
Sure. Yeah. Should I go first? You want me to go first?
Yeah.
All right.
You know what? Yes. Actually, you know what I was thinking, Sean?
What were you thinking?
I was thinking you should go first.
Oh, okay.
That's what like sociopaths do, who want you to think that they're always in charge. You know what I'm talking about? They're
trying to command respect to the room.
He'll ask
you know what my thought of the week is?
Like,
I really think you should be in charge of the conversation right now because I'm allowing you to.
Actually, you know what I was thinking? I think you should go for this one. Yeah. I know you were about to go for it anyway without me saying that, but I'm going to say this anyway.
Oh
because now I feel self-important.
Yeah, go get him.
We all know someone like that.
Gosh.
Brutal.
I sound passionate about this. All right. Anyway, Sean, what you got?
What have I been thinking about this week? So my thought of the week is that, and this is an opinion, so a lot of people may disagree with me. I think a majority of the way that people consume news and information, like the top sources are the worst ways that you can consume them. And let me explain. I'll get into more specifics. I think the top ways that people consume information are Twitter or TV media. And I think that both those are the worst way to consume news or information, because you have a very limited amount of, in Twitter's case, characters, and in the TV news space, time to convey something that's really important and something that you should probably simmer on before you decide an opinion, and before you emotionally react to it. That's another thing. Twitter is a very quick way to write out an opinion with as little words as possible, and people tend to gravitate to using very emotional words to either that's how they feel or they want to get people upset or triggered. And I don't think that's the best way to consume information. TV news media, it's very much like, how we have an important topic to talk about, but I need to talk about it in 30 minutes with 3 other people, and I have to interview this person, but we only get like a minute and a half on the air, so I can't ask him all the important information.
Well, I have a question.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're saying that it's an issue because of how people are responding to it.
I mean, I think that's part of, yeah, I would say that.
Well, then the media source, the medium is not the issue in that case, right? The consumer is the issue. That's what I interpreted from what you were saying. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth.
No, that's fair. I think that's true, but I also think it's kind of designed, like the technology is designed to be that way. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Fully agree. I studied this in college, by the way, so I'm keeping my mouth shut, but I fully agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, I want to hear more about it, but yeah, I mean, you could put it on the consumer, and I mean, at the end of the day, like, if we want to talk about things that should change, it should definitely be like how we as individuals consume that media and how we react when we read things.
Yeah, because whenever you were saying like, oh, well, it's so short and concise, like, wouldn't you say that that's a good thing? Like, in most contexts, explaining something in less words is probably more valuable than explaining something in a lot of words in general.
Generally, yeah, I would agree with that. But I think when it comes to like world news or politics or anything like that, it gets very, very complex. And a lot of the times, how short the information that you present can cause you to put more bias behind whatever it is you're saying, or a more emotion than what's necessary to actually convey the information. I feel like humans tend to want to put their how they feel about a particular thing along with whatever it is they're trying to tell you. And if you're given a shorter amount of time, then you're more likely to have a larger percentage of that thing they're telling you be their opinion of it rather than the facts, the information as it is. And I feel like when you're, even with just like reading an article on the internet or something like that, you have more time to digest it. I feel like you don't get as reactionary. You definitely can, but I just think like Twitter and TV news, they're huge catalysts for that. Yeah, that's been my thought of the week.
You know what I hate about TV? Stuff like that. I'm thinking of a particular person, but a lot of different interviewers do it, and it's whenever they have this short amount of time. So like, I'll try to give a specific example. Let's say someone in the business world is trying to interview someone about inflation, and before they introduce this person, or like in the process of introducing them, they're like, hey, we got Logan Damery, head expert at whatever. And, inflation's getting really rampant. Everything is out of control. And the middle class is really struggling. How do you feel about that? And then it's like, well, now you force them to talk about that specific thing, like pretty much, or else you force them to combat you and completely change the directions of what was happening and like totally off rail this 3-minute
Mhm.
conversation. I hate that so much. I
Mhm.
fully understand the purpose of it, but I also don't like it. Like,
Mhm.
I wish if you were going to talk about a topic, be like, hey, Mr. Expert, since you're Mr. Expert, talk to me about inflation, and just leave it like extremely open-ended. And then it's going to be awkward for a second, maybe. And that is probably a good thing. Like if that person is just silent, or they make like some stalling sound, like, well,
Yeah,
then you're going to get the real, answer.
that's a real stream of
So
consciousness
yeah,
right
I
there.
get what you're saying. Yeah, but I guess a lot of people can't get their point across in 3 minutes.
Mhm.
Someone who's really good at getting their point across in 3 minutes is Peter Schiff, by the way. Dude is sharp as nails.
I would agree with that.
Always
Yeah,
ready to go.
he is quick on his feet.
He's quick, man.
Yeah,
He doesn't get caught in any of those word game traps.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Love
Yeah,
Peter
I don't know.
Schiff.
I think it's just like the reason I was thinking about that is because I won't say names or anything, but I was listening to an argument between two people talking about how like you watch X news station on the TV all day and you don't get your information from anything else, and then that's why I go on Twitter. You get like all these perspectives, and then basically they were arguing between the two, and it's just like I just think like I don't know. It's all very, maybe it isn't just how short it is, but I feel like just if we're given a short amount of time, we're going to tend to want to give a particular spin on things, or like you said, like we're going to be asked a question that's very, very direct. That's not necessarily how the conversation should go, to get the correct information across. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the solution is. I mean, like we said, it comes down to the individual and how do we react when we read that stuff. But
So it's kind of twofold, because yes, it 100% comes down to the individual, but it also comes down to all the different types of journalism and what their agendas are. Because that's the bottom line, is every single channel on television, on YouTube, anywhere there is a channel in quotes, every single person, company has their own agenda and what they want to push. And that often determines the character, the voice. I want to say like timbre in the musical terms. I'm trying to think of what the actual like non-musical term for that would be, because my brain's just thinking that way.
Tone.
Tone, basically. Yeah, like all that's determined by like what messages and like what vibes companies want to push across. And it is very rare to find instances where you're not having bias anywhere from any kind of outlet. And I think it's really easy as human beings to find something that you agree with that resonates with you emotionally, and then get attached to a certain company or a certain broadcasting network that resonates with you the most, and then stick with that being your news, versus just taking the option of saying, you know what, I understand that I have these tendencies, but I also need to go listen to the complete opposite side. I need to listen to something that's more neutral, like listening to other mediums and listening to other companies share what the news is. Because it's really easy to summarize. It's really easy to take news and attach it to opinion as journalists and make that like solid factual news, when it's like, no, this is what actually happened, and there's emotion being attached to it that's fueling other things. Like that is a case. That's not always the case, but you do see that a lot. And I think the more news outlets can be more stoic about information, and same for the consumer being stoic about it and not having as much emotional attachment to it, the better off we'll all be. And I don't think we'll ever get there, if I'm being honest.
So what I was about to say was like, I feel like journalists giving news without an opinion, especially on TV, is never going to happen in my opinion. I just don't see it happening. And that's why I have a problem with the short format and the quick switch and quick turnaround, is because you're going to tend to want to give the opinion versus much more slower forms of taking in information. Even like a podcast, I think there's no like, you don't have to take like an ad break for X amount of time because the TV news station said so. And like, you don't have to interview somebody for 2 minutes. You can have a 60-minute podcast or however long you want, talking to somebody about like all the details. yeah, that's why I have a problem with that short format. It's just because the human nature behind how we tell information, it's just it doesn't work well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. What are you simmering, Austin? Looks like you're thinking.
No, I'm just listening.
Cool.
I'll say
It's
one
definitely
last
interesting.
thing, if that's okay.
What? How dare you?
Dude,
Yeah,
Get
Just
out.
leave.
you're right. Okay.
I'm just kidding. Oh, he's leaving.
He's gone, ladies and gentlemen. Audio Technica is down.
I had to do it at least once.
Alright.
No, I was just gonna add the tidbit that TV and Twitter is a form of entertainment, and networks know that when it comes to TV. Like they actually write their stuff to, yes, be informed. I guess the first thing, but they also do have the mindset of like, hey, some of our stories have to have some kind of entertainment value to it. So there, that is an aspect, and it's obviously like reporting on like I say a nuke went off somewhere. Like obviously there would be no entertainment to that. Like it's like, hey, this like literally happened, like very bad. But
Yeah.
you know that there are stories that are political, that are in the realm of serious subjects that do have entertainment value. Like you can have someone on the opposite side talk with 6 other people who are on one side and they just belittle that one person. And even if that one person is saying facts, the belittling is the entertainment. So like, and then people think that's news.
Well, it's also
So-
like it's also ratings, right? Like TV
100%.
news media is kind of dying in a sense,
Yeah.
and it's just
Yep.
like, how do we get more people to watch our news?
Right. I don't know. It's you can make a whole podcast on this conversation. Honestly,
Yeah, true.
it is very interesting. I've always been intrigued by it, and I don't know. It is entertaining to talk about.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does anybody have any other thoughts of the week?
Yeah, I got a thought of the week.
What is your thought of the week, Austin?
My thought of the week is just wondering how much of people not feeling 100%, how often is that like allergies and stuff like that, and how much that like throws off our equilibrium or throws off our ability to like breathe properly, and then we don't sleep as well, and then that's why we feel groggy the next day or the next week. Like myself, spring and fall, I definitely feel worse than I do in the winter and the summer. Like just if I had to take the average of all the days in the spring and the average of all the days in the fall, they would be a lower average if I had to put it on a point scale of like, do I feel great today or do I feel not so great today? Spring and fall is normally like edging on not so great. I get way more tired. I get, I'll feel like crappy. I get more anxious. I get more like everything is worse in the spring and the fall. It's weird. I got to figure that out. But I feel like a lot of people deal with that. And I feel like spring and fall is a very busy time for a lot of people. So that's pretty unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Kind of
those
on
are
a
the
similar
times to
note.
feel not great.
Kind of on a similar note, I was thinking about how I was thinking about basically the same thing, but with mold. Like, I wonder how many people just like go through their day just like, man, I'm eating right. I'm so tired. I'm sleeping so horribly. And it's like, not recovering very quickly. I'm hungry all the time
in their house.
Yeah. And they just are unaware that they have mold in their house. Like this, I have a friend who stayed at an
It's
apartment.
terrifying.
It's just like infested with it. And it's not good.
No.
Dude. Yeah, you should watch the documentary Moldy.
Moldy.
Look up Moldy documentary. Yeah, Dave Asprey documentary. Yeah, I'm a freak about mold. Like I'm a complete freak. Like yeah. Like my what's it called? Why am I seeming like a stereotypical male right now? Not a dishwasher, the other thing with water.
A sink.
Washing machine. There we go. Washing machine. Holy Jesus.
A sink.
Any females?
A lot of things with water.
Very, very sorry. Yeah, I don't know. I just seemed like the typical dumb male. Anyway, washing machine. Like I'm such a stickler about the washing machine. Like if there's any water, like standing water in it, freak out. I gotta like get it all dry. Then I have like this probiotic spray I spray in there. Yeah, I'm scared of mold, man. Because when I was younger, we had like a mold issue that my parents didn't know about, and then like we moved out of that house, they found out about the mold issue. They were like, hey, we got to get this mold issue fixed. It was a whole big deal. So they're like, you know what, we're just going to move out, because it was a huge undertaking to solve the issue. I had eczema and stuff, and like other skin conditions and a bunch of like breathing issues. Like snap of a fingers, the next day that we moved out of that house, literally like all of it was gone.
Wow. Dude, that's so powerful.
It
is like so
crazy,
for you.
and it was like black mold
Yeah.
underneath the floorboards I was like elementary school aged, horrible eczema. Yeah, it's crazy.
Dang.
Do y'all remember that show called As Told by Ginger that was on Nickelodeon, like back in like the late 90s / early 2000s?
Actually don't know.
Oh man,
I have never heard of it.
I barely remember that show, but there's an episode of that show where I think it's like the last season where the main character Ginger, her house is infested with mold, and they go in with like these like bubble suits, and they like make the whole entire house, like they have like the bubble over the house. Like this is a real thing. They actually do this where they cover the whole entire house and they like basically fumigate it.
Yeah.
And that's all I remember from that show. But every time I think about mold, because I also have issues with mold, like it kills me basically. Every time I think about that, I think about that show, and like I have a very vivid image. If anyone listening to this has seen it, they know what I'm talking about. It's like a very vivid image.
Comment below.
Yeah.
That bubble. Yeah, comment below if you've seen that.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, you just triggered me. Sorry.
Wow. Yeah, I mean mold's crazy, man.
It's a real thing,
Mold is
obviously, but
crazy
It
horrible.
is.
Yeah.
It's a good
Yeah.
thought of the week.
Hmm.
Definitely.
Logan, what's your thought of forever? Also known as thought of
Man.
the week.
I've had a lot of overarching thought processes kind of plaguing my head. I think the biggest one that I keep coming back to, at least this week, is when to apply principles of stoicism in my daily life. Like, when do I allow myself to feel something, and when do I say, no, I just need to put my head down and get this done and take all the emotion out of it? Because it can come like that. There's a fine line of like when you choose to be stoic about something, right? Like if you're stoic about your marriage and like your relationships, and you're very much just like numb, like not the stoicism is like you're numb, but you know what I'm saying. We're talking very simplified here. If you're talking about like that, it's like not going to be very helpful. But you know, if you're talking about just like being unaffected about various things and just knowing that you have to do something to get it done, it's very helpful. So I guess it's like taking those principles and like figuring out how to actually apply them on a daily basis is kind of something I'm like constantly thinking about. Being very vague here, but that's kind of the overarching theme.
Typically when I think of
Yeah.
stoicism, I think of like the philosophical like branch of stoicism. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's
Yes.
like it's less like, I don't know, intense or lack of feeling, and more of like just the presence and
Mhm.
like the now, and taking things as they are rather than worrying about
Yeah.
other factors. I don't even know if I'm defining that correctly.
I mean, my interpretation of it, if I was to describe it to somebody in a short format, I would say that you can still feel something, but you don't have to. And it's up to you. And it's always up to you, and it's always been up to you. And it's
Mhm.
just whether or not you agree that there is a barrier between action and your feeling toward the action. And you can have that feeling, but you don't have to attach it to
Yeah.
whatever the action was.
Yeah, it's a good way of putting it.
That's how I would picture it.
Yeah.
So I just see Stoic philosophy as a quick little barrier to say, is this worth me? Yes, I am frustrated right now. I feel frustrated. Is this worth me attaching this to this and allowing it to affect the next X amount of minutes of my life,
Yeah.
or days or months or weeks or whatever?
Yes. That's
Yeah.
literally verbatim
agree.
like the better way of saying what's been in my head. Like what I said was very poorly explained. But
Just like
I
letting
don't think it was poor.
emotions get attached.
yeah, and like just more importantly, recognizing what emotions come from, like what triggers certain emotions, and what is the root issue to those emotions being triggered. Because like for example, if you're talking about negative emotions, let's say like you get spiteful over something, right? Like, why are you getting triggered to be spiteful over something like this certain thing happening? Like, what's the root issue of that? Diagnosing it and saying, okay, like one, like just being really honest with myself and being really honest with yourself as far as you're pointing out the fact, like this is what is tangible and what is making me angry, making me spiteful, since we're saying spiteful. How do I accept this as fact, but also control the emotional response and not attaching it to that said thing? So once again, a vague example, but like very much just like being in control really is all it comes down to. Is like, there's a lot of things in life that you are not in control of. Like you hear me say this all the time with external factors. Like there's so many things that you can't control. Like you can't control like inflation, since we're talking about inflation earlier. You can't control the weather. You can't control how somebody else is going to react to something you say. Like you can think about that, you can meditate on that, but you can't control it. The only thing you can control is how you react to a said other reaction. So yeah, it's just like learning how to know what my trigger points are as far as good and bad. Because, you know, you figure out on the other side of things, you figure out what your good triggers are, like what makes you happy, what brings you joy. Like joy is a choice, but there's also things that do bring you joy. You learn what those triggers are. I mean, in both ways. And it's like, you can feel, not that you need to feel in control in life, but if you're a control freak like me, like you do have a little more comfort knowing that, yes, I can't control the outcomes of my day to an extent, but I can control how I react to it. Very surface level, but like that's basically what I've been thinking about for a long period of time, for probably a year or two. And just like actually, because like you know, it's one of those things where you can know the facts of something, but you haven't experienced it. So while you have the knowledge, like, oh, this is how my life should be, you're not like directly like affected by it until you actually experience it, and you learn that experience from the definition, like a textbook versus actually doing something in person, like that kind of principle. So I'm actively always going through changes, and like the last 3 months specifically have been a lot of big changes in my life. So I've let a lot of walls down, and I've like let the floodgate kind of open, and I'm very much myself in front of everybody, versus before it was kind of like not being my full self. You guys may have noticed that in Dayton. I was a lunatic in Dayton, and that's because that's who I am. And it's a great time. So that's what I've been like working on and thinking about. So thought of forever, but also specifically the stoicism bit and controlled variables have been more this week's focus, since the last 4 days have been all very different days.
Wonder if like emotion can be like trained like a muscle, in the sense of like, I mean, this could sound or come off psychopathic, but like in the sense of just like if you start out your day like thinking about something really sad to the point that it makes you cry like regularly, and then like switching thoughts very quickly to something that like changes your emotion, that like you can call upon those things
I see what you're
in
saying by
times where
psychopathic.
something is making you, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
But like something makes you like super angry. It's like, oh, I just have to think about the thing that like I trained myself to feel a particular way to kind of detach myself from this emotion that I'm feeling in this moment.
Yeah, it's like
Dude,
a Pavlov's
maybe
dog.
maybe I'm a sociopath, but I feel like we bring up Josh like once a podcast. We gotta get him on here. But I was talking to Josh, and we were just talking about, I don't know, like personal life stuff, and something came up about like disagreements or arguments in a particular context. And I was basically saying that most of the disagreements I have in that context end up not being the disagreement itself, but getting over the disagreement. Because like I'll be mad for like 12 seconds, and I'm just like, I don't feel like being mad anymore, so I just stop being mad. And it causes so many rubs in so many social situations for me to like quickly switch emotions. I feel like when I say that out loud, it sounds like bipolar disorder, but it's like it's actual thought. I consciously think I have no interest in feeling this way anymore. I'm not going to feel this way anymore. And I'm thinking that probably some of it is like, I'll just literally change my thoughts and start thinking about something that makes me feel a different emotion.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Why are we still mad? Like, I don't understand. Let's move on. Come on, let's get past this.
Yeah.
I know that. I mean, I know both of you have seen that. I mean, we weren't talking about, musical context, but that's happened in musical context with me a lot of times. It's happened in other contexts with me a lot of times. It's definitely a source of weirdness. Like, I'm like, let's just get over this. Like, I'm not mad anymore. Why?
Yeah.
Can we just not be mad? And then the other person's like, I'm still mad. I'm like,
But why?
Why? There's no point. Like,
Yeah.
And then they get mad at you for saying there's no point.
Yeah.
Exactly.
True.
I'm like,
You're
no,
really
but
angry,
really,
yeah.
there's no point. But
It's
really,
like a feedback loop of like, why aren't you still angry about this? And it's like, bro.
Yeah.
And then I'm just gonna walk away. They're like, wow, you're gonna walk away?
No, I mean,
true.
I wouldn't say 12 seconds is true for me, but I definitely, over the last like 3 years, maybe 3 or 4 years, I'm gonna put a number on it. Like over a long period of time, I have gotten to that point for myself most of the way. Like I'm not like that with everything, but for the most part, I can immediately understand like when there's tension in a situation and be like, okay, I don't want this. Just get rid of it. So, and like I said, I'm not like that for everything. So it's like a process I'm personally still working on. But I know what you're saying, because like, especially with
For
anger,
sure.
I had a lot of
Same,
anger
same.
issues when I was a kid. So I learned how to deal with anger
Me too.
as an adult pretty fast, because it's not cool to just be mad all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing you mentioned, I think it's very important. I think everyone should be unapologetically themselves.
Yes.
And it always worries me when I notice someone who's close to me who's not being themselves. I'm like, man, they're going through some stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how to like support people in those contexts yet. Hopefully I'll be able to figure that out so I can help people, or maybe provide some assistance in some way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's like number one indicator of hardship, and like
Yes.
people that are in weird times is this person's not 100% unapologetically just being themselves and expressing what they want to express and being their true self.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
very important.
Very, very important. Agreed.
That's like whenever I meet friends and they're around like significant others that are somewhat new or something, I'm like,
Red
you
flag.
you know,
Big
you
red
can tell
flag.
you're like, you are not being yourself.
This is new.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is strange, and it's not gonna last, and then it doesn't,
Yeah.
That's fair.
Anyway, all right, ready to wrap it up?
Yeah,
Namaste.
let's do it. Logan, thanks so much, man.
Thank
Appreciate you
Yes,
for
it's been an
being
absolute
on it.
pleasure.
Appreciate it,
You're in a solid tie for number one with our best guest ever. So
I heard this in the
very
last time
good.
you had an episode. Don't be pulling that. Like, don't be pulling that. I listened to the podcast earlier today, and you said this verbatim. So, don't be
Whoa,
doing that.
hey,
Wow,
yeah,
all right.
Also, I realized we haven't been doing our public service recently, Sean, and now is a great time since Logan knows this fact as well. But
that's
public
right.
service of the day is this. You see this? This is a phone. Okay. You see what it is? It's flat. Okay. Whenever I put this on there, it doesn't roll off. It almost rolled off just now, but it doesn't roll off. Okay. That's the same thing as what happens when I put a skateboard on the flat ground, dude. It doesn't roll. You know why?
Thank you. The earth is flat.
Thank you so much. All right.
All right.
Logan, how do you feel about that?
We can talk about that off air.
Dude, what? It's flat.
No,
It's
dude,
public
it's
service.
flat, bro. Dude, all right. Did
Look
you go
over
to the
there. Can you
When was the last
see?
time you went to the
Look out your
grocery
window
store?
right now. That's a good question.
What was the last time you went? What was the last time you went to the grocery store?
When was the last time I went to the grocery store?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh,
Yesterday?
Wait. What do you mean?
it was at least last week.
Okay. Did you
Some point
use a
last
cart?
Last week.
I did use a shopping cart. Yes.
Okay.
'cause
So when you stopped using the shopping cart to get something and put it in, did you take your hands off of it?
I did, yes.
Did it roll away from you?
It kept slowly going at a very minute, slow rate.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't-
I watched the
don't think
wheel.
That's true.
No, I knew this conversation was
Sounds
gonna
like
Let's
poor
run it back on the
architecture.
down the
CCTV.
ground, and I watched the wheels. I watched the wheels slowly move. It was like 0.000001
So
mile
are they still
per
moving
hour.
right now?
I'm moving right now, personally. I don't know about you guys.
Sounds like
No,
some poor
I could look-
architecture.
It's-
You can't moving.
We're on a flat disc, bro.
Yeah. It's a
I
frisbee.
don't know where you got
Frisbee
these
of an
little
earth.
factoids of yours, but these are preposterous.
I enjoy this. This is a fun thing.
So we'll leave it on that. And no, the Earth's not a donut for those who think that.
Dang
We're
it.
gonna-
Oh, that's what I
Nah,
thought
that's
personally.
nothing.
And I've even heard some people think the Earth is round.
Dude, that's
No.
nonsense. Complete nonsense.
What if the Earth was a Cheez-It? Sponsored by
All I'm
Cheez-Its.
saying.
Oh, I wish.
Yeah.
Nice.
Then you could just take the world. And so I'm not gonna lie to you. I had this box of Cheez-Its sitting over here, and I really wanted to not do this, but I'm gonna do it. You just take the Cheez-It, right? And just
Oh, that's good radio, baby.
oh yeah, baby.
That is
Sponsored by
good radio.
Cheez-Its.
ASMR.
All right. It's been your best friends.
It's been your best
Austin.
friends. It is
It's
Sean.
It's do I say my name?
And it was our
Yeah.
special
It's
guest
Logan.
number 3.
Amazing.
Wasn't sure it was the same
Alright.
thing as the intro.
Have a great night,
Yeah.
everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.